Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's a hump day, Stadium and Gale, man. How y'all boys feeling?
Feeling good. It's gonna be a good day. Live show today, a little special episode. Got some bourbon ready to drink. So, cheers.
Very nice.
Yeah, we got water and Coke Zero over here.
Very good.
Nick's fresh off the grill. What you grilling over there, Nick?
Ooh, so with everything going on with the future mother-in-law, future father-in-law's here, so it's been big steak vibes, big steak week. Went to Whole Foods.
Salisbury on. You put the Salisbury on the grill?
No. He bought them. Went to Fresh Market or Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Where shopping is expensive.
Yeah.
But we had some like 2-inch thick filet mignons tonight.
Nice.
Better than Embers?
Not listen. I mean, no.
All right.
But cheaper.
Let me judge you on your grill. You gas grill, charcoal grill. What we at?
I got a propane grill. I understand it. Listen, it's just easy. Kind of set forget it.
I prefer propane for the steak though.
No, I like to get it if I could. I mean, like Embers. What makes sets Embers apart is they do that wood fire. So you get some wood smoke. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. One of my best man at my wedding, he's got not a Traeger, but something like that. It's like a pellet smoker, pellet grill, and you can mix in. It's kind of electric, kind of not. But I mean, shoot,
is it kind of electric and that you plug it in and it works, or?
Well, I mean, he can change the heat from his phone, so it's like Bluetooth connected to his phone. So he's not like going out there and figuring out how hot it is. He just opens up an app on his phone. He's like, oh, that's too hot. Let me lower it. But he's got to, change pellets and stuff like that. Johnny Townsend, shout me out. Got that Traeger sponsorship. I'll take a Traeger at the house. That's for sure.
Trav, Everett, thanks everybody for joining. Super chat questions get answered first. We'll probably answer a few others. If you do want to be on the show, let us know. DM us on Twitter. We'll try to find on YouTube as well if you want to send us a message, and we'll send you the link to hop in. But Trav Everett, shout out your shirt, Silk. Asked why you're the only one that wears orange and blue on the show. I think that's just Silk's wardrobe. He's a little bit fresher, got some better drip than the rest of us. But I'll make sure that I wear my my Florida Gators gear next time.
I made a conscious effort. I told myself about 3 weeks ago that I'm gonna start buying more Gators, especially during this time of year. It's all on sale. So shout out to Fanatics and a couple other websites, man. Got a lot of college stuff on sale this time of year.
Especially Alumni Hall and
Alumni Hall. Shout out to them. Shout out to our sponsors, man. Fanatics is not sponsoring us, so man, don't go there. That's where I got this from.
I did wear
my
Florida Gator golf polo today. Always gets compliments. Yeah.
It does.
Always. Except for the lady at the baseball game that didn't quite know it was the golf logo and thought it was the Jumbo Shrimp logo. But
I saw Silk at FSU, and he was wearing the Gator Titleist hat, and I go, hey, what's your handicap? He goes, what? I said, what's your handicap? The joke did not land.
Yeah.
Well, the joke did not land because I was full of vices and I had no idea you were talking about that. I had no idea you were talking about the hat. I was like, bro, don't be talking about my disabilities, man.
Oh man. Daddy Gator, Stephen A. Smith said, boss. Dan,
I ain't calling his name.
Get a tattoo of a fresh lineup. Love yourself. Hey, listen, this year, not going to put a spoiler alert out there, but you might see a different hairline on your boy.
You getting in LeBron?
What?
You getting in LeBron?
I am.
Oh,
potentially.
nice.
I might actually be down in your hood. So we're talking to some doctors now, trying to see if I can be made better. You know what I mean? Or if it's just worth just going.
I don't think your Life Wallet stock's gonna tick up enough for that kind of payment. Might just have to shave, Dan.
Let me tell you what, Nick.
I don't know if the bald head community want him in it. To be honest with you.
As a shareholder of Life Wallet,
tough.
I am exceptionally disappointed in the leadership of the CEO of the organization that I've invested my hard-earned money on just to watch him troll people or try to troll people on Twitter. It's disappointing. other companies that I have investments in, I don't see their CEOs trying to troll people. As somebody that I've made an investment in, and in the company that I believe in right now, I have high levels of doubt as a shareholder.
He's trying to pull up on you as a shareholder. So I don't know what type of, I don't think he value his fellow board members and whatever they call you, shareholders.
Yeah, right. I may.
What would your buyout be? If he would like to have you not be a part of the company anymore, what would you sell your share and or shares?
I don't think you can afford it. Whatever my exit price would be. If you've seen the stock recently, I mean, down another 11% today. You know, it's just it's disappointing to say the least, Nick.
Hey, and next month, Dan's view is gonna be different. He's gonna be like 8 floors down in that high rise. Times are tough.
Fortunately for me, I saw the future of my investment in Life Wallet likely not turning positive. So I didn't invest a sizable share, but I am a shareholder. Correct.
As a shareholder,
I'm disappointed that that's how I'm spoken to as somebody that bought into this company.
That's the funniest thing I've heard this week, Dan. Yeah. As a shareholder,
I also want to let the Gator fans know.
I proved it to you.
Yeah, you did. You did. That made it even better.
I also want to let the Gator fans know. You want to know why Ruiz was able to snatch some of our recruits, some of the NIL money. Dan was helping finance it, man. As a shareholder of Life Wallet, he was financing Hurricane players, man.
This is a spy movie. Dan's been working from the inside out.
Yeah.
As a shareholder, the next call, should it ever happen, it's already been delayed, but should it ever happen, I will make my opinion, known. The bourbon went down a little different that time.
very good. What made you buy stock into Life Wallet while we're here? Just a troll?
I would appreciate if you just respected my privacy and my financial matters. We can talk offline, but as a shareholder, I just want the internet to know that I am exceptionally disappointed.
You're trolling with your finances. That's crazy work, bro.
Again, as a shareholder, I expect the leader of the company that I've invested my hard-earned dollars in to care about.
Hard-earned dollar.
Hey, Nick, my privacy.
87 pennies.
That's HIPAA.
Now it's worth like 74 pennies. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna get on to the show. We have Harrison joining us first. Harrison, what's going on, my friend?
I'm chilling, man. Hey, you might need to call Jordan Belfort to get those penny stocks off at this point.
Word up.
I am exploring all options, Harrison.
No bourbon for me tonight, by the way.
Bro invested just to troll with the shareholder line. Travis, the jig is up. I've been found out. Harrison, what's going on, man? What's life in Gainesville like?
Well, I'm not currently in Gainesville.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Life is good, man. Good vibes. Even all the way from Gainesville, I'm getting good vibes right now. I can't really complain.
Very nice, man.
Harrison, talk to us. What's on your mind? What hot take do you want to share with the world?
I mean, I'm not gonna come on the show and just be like negative Nick. I mean, I'm not gonna waste my one time talking about misdemeanor Mertz or whatever Nick called.
That was not my line.
Well, you called him murder Mertz. I have the screen grab for that.
Yep, I've seen that. Good grab.
The agenda grows.
That's who texted to me. I was like, man, I appreciate you, bro.
I was like, he said it. And I'm like, there we go. Crop signed, sealed, delivered.
Bro, Zach did me dirty.
Yeah,
cut out all the context. Cut out all of it.
I love it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm hearing good things from obviously people in Gainesville, but
what's good things?
Oh, come on.
What's good things? What are the good things? I don't want to hear none of your cautious stuff, man.
No.
Give me a good
thing.
Thing.
If we're getting straight to the line.
Murder Mertz. Let it fly like Murder Mertz.
Murder Mertz, don't do all that. But nah, I heard from someone I talked to at Alabama, they said if Kirby Smart and Will Muschamp had a kid, Austin Armstrong is that guy.
I see that.
And then I
better hair.
Better hair too. And I
think he's jealous.
I hope he just has Muschamp's like just defensive. No, your energy not to scream at the players, not do the Clay Burton. Don't go full Clay Burton on me. Just energy and defensive intellect is what I hope he has, and not all the animated stuff on the sidelines, bro. We have to.
I mean, it's
no
McElwain,
Kevin Taylor. We don't need no McElwain, Kevin Taylor on the sidelines. What I'm saying.
I mean, I had one player tell me that when you do something right, it's loud, and when you do something wrong, it's loud. And for me, I think that's a much better environment and energy given than what we had last year, and even what we had under Ty Grantham. So I mean, overall, that seems to the early returns are encouraging. A lot of positive reviews. I think when you combine that with Corey Raymond getting the whole secondary, I do think the defense is going to be much improved. I don't think they're done on the defense just yet after post spring, but I think this is going to be a much improved defense from even a schematic standpoint and definitely a talent standpoint, because at a couple positions, there's really nowhere to go but up after the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, real quick on that, Dan, the biggest thing there is I went back and looked at the snaps. Dexter played the third number snaps, the third highest snaps on defense. Your starting defensive tackle should never be playing top 3 snaps on your defense. And that was just a symptom of the depth that Florida had. That
wasn't Gervon number 1?
No, he was third. I think.
You said you. Oh, I'm sorry, Dexter. Sorry, I said Watson. Never mind. Sorry.
No. Yeah, so it was G. That won't happen this year. I think Cam Jackson starts, but you've got Chris McClellan. You've got a bunch of guys there that you'll be able to have a rotation, keep guys fresh. So I think that's just from the interior standpoint, that's going to be a huge benefit for Florida going into 23.
Yeah, I mean, at nose you have Big Cam and Big Des. So,
yeah,
I mean, Desmond Watson played, I think it was like 45 snaps against Florida State. I mean, even for a normal size nose, that should never happen, let alone Big Des. But so obviously you have more depth up front. They need more depth at a couple positions, but I've heard some really good things about Caleb Banks. I mean, he's still a little bit raw. He's only been in college for 1 year, but apparently his motor's really high, and they think by the time he leaves here, he could be an all-SEC guy.
Yeah, he got some get off. I haven't seen a lot of clips, but the clips I've seen, I know get off from the defensive tackle position, and he has a little bit of that. You can't teach get off.
No, you can't.
Harrison, who are you? We talk a lot about the big names around here. Who are you excited about that maybe we don't talk about that much?
From like the freshman perspective?
Just in general, maybe somebody that's going to get an opportunity to start, maybe somebody that's going to be on the 2 deep, that's going to get some considerable playing time. But, obviously everybody knows kind of the main starters, on offensive line, tight end, wide receiver. We kind of know that, but who's somebody that you're excited about?
I mean, I obviously, since you talked stock market earlier, I have all the shares in the Andy Jean stock market. So, I mean, I'm really excited for him. Caleb Banks is someone I'm really interested in that I don't think a lot of people are talking about that much, but
I have.
You have, but I haven't seen a lot elsewhere on the timeline or even in
the Big J journalists.
Big J journalists, but I'm all in on Jakeem Jackson, man. Every single person has a lot of things to say. I mean, when Corey Raymond took him, everyone was kind of excited that Corey Raymond was kind of excited that he had only really been playing defensive back for a year, so he had no bad habits in his game, and that's kind of translating over so far. I mean, I know he had a pick in the scrimmage. I know he's had multiple pass breakups. I mean, we've seen clips of him on the timeline running fast, but Jakeem Jackson and Andy Jean are definitely my 2 favorite freshmen. And if I had to give you one no one's really talking about that I'm excited for, it's TJ Searcy. I think because of the way he handled his process, just committed on the 4th of July, no more visits, no more BS, got to campus, doesn't post on social media a lot. I think that's just a kid who can come in and maybe get some snaps at what's the new buck position called? Jack. Maybe get some snaps at Jack year 1. I mean, obviously you got Princely there, who's apparently had a really good spring. You've got Powell, but I think TJ Searcy could steal some snaps at Jack.
Yeah, I think we were doing a live show when Searcy committed, or he had just done it right before the show started. I mean, that was somebody that kind of came out of nowhere in terms of his commitment to Florida. Looked at Georgia, Clemson, all the big schools. Highly touted guy, and like you said, Harrison, I know a lot of people kind of forgot about him just because he wasn't, everywhere. He wasn't doing all these other visits and everything else. So now that's a great name.
Yeah. So I really like this freshman class. I mean, the class was never a bad class. I just think given the depth and what we saw, they could have just used 10 more freshmen. And at the end of the day, that's fixable in the 24 class, the portal, obviously. But I mean, I like those two. And one more I'll give you is Trayon Webb. I've heard he's had a really good spring so far, and he's ahead of where some people kind of thought that he'd be. So I'm excited just to add another back to the running back room, because I mean, I'm never going to doubt the staff with running backs given what we've seen out of Montrell and ETN so far.
Trav said Cam Carroll. You think he plays over?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he plays over Cam Carroll. I mean, we were talking about it. I mean, I said it on the show. I'm like, what the hell are you selling a portal running back? You've got 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns coming back. I was like, you're going to have to take a flyer on some high school running back, and then you get this dude
negative
Cam Carroll.
Nick.
Yeah,
you get this dude Cam Carroll to come in. I look at him. I mean, he sent Miguel Mitchell into the shadow realm in the first scrimmage.
Hey. No Miguel Mitchell slander,
listen, Dan's the one that played the GIF 47 times on the last show.
It's propaganda.
But Cam Carroll's a dude, and I think ETN and Cam Carroll are past Montrell Johnson in terms of catching the ball. So Florida's going to get the running backs more involved. I think it's Cam and ETN and maybe Trayon Webb. I think Montrell has a little ways to go in that regard, but will be your starting running back. So I think, I would say 1A, 1B, Johnson, ETN, and then after them, Carroll, then Webb, kind of in that order. But it's a really good running back room.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of talent.
Harrison, we're going to get you out of here, but you can come back later.
Hey, Harrison, before you leave,
a
freshman you didn't mention, I like Jordan Castell. I think he plays further away from the ball. I don't like freshman safeties, but there's a lot of opportunity in the safety room, and I heard he's making some plays out there. So I love Jordan Castell. Not a name that I'm
just
hearing
got him looking wild in that 14 though. So
yeah, he might have to get him a single digit.
Got him looking wild in the 14.
14 is not bad. I mean, 14 is not bad.
Not a safety number.
It's better than 13.
Neither was 43 or 35, really, the fullback numbers. But Ahmad made it happen. And I think this could be all right with 14. If he starts balling out, there's make him and Graham Mertz switch numbers.
So another here.
Silk needs a job in the UAA as jersey snatcher, jersey swapper. You know what? You're not doing 15. Snatched, give it to somebody else.
Not sure if you guys know this, but the Gators had one of their best safeties of all time wear the number 14. Safety Bruce Bennett in 1962 was a walk-on.
I have no idea who
but he moved to safety as a sophomore, 3-year starter, second-team All-American, first team as a senior, has a brick, tied for fourth in school history, 13 interceptions.
Shout out to Bruce
if you
Almighty.
guys don't know Bruce Bennett, then I don't know if I can keep doing a podcast with you.
I got to take a picture of the brick next time, because I had no idea that was even on the brick.
They don't have him a brick. I'm pretty sure they don't have him a brick. He has a brick?
Seems like he should. If not, justice for Bruce.
That was hey, Terry put it in reverse real quick there. Does he actually have a brick? I don't know. I don't know.
That's not my fault if he doesn't. If he doesn't have one. Let's
68. He has to be a white DB in 68, man. So shout out to him for being a white DB.
Probably.
That's All-American Bruce Almighty.
Jalen Watkins wore 14 too. Thank you, Wicked
Jay
Fresh.
Watt.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Watt, man. Absolute baller when he was at UF, man. Towards the end of his career.
Still doing his thing, right? I think.
I don't watch the NFL, so I'd be guessing.
Yeah. All right. Harrison, we'll talk to you in a bit, buddy.
Yeah, I'll stay around.
All right, buddy.
Shout out to Harrison.
Jalen Watkins last season was with the Chargers in 2020.
what Dan got going on?
Obviously not a lot. I'm doing my Bruce Bennett research.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Bruce Bennett.
Let's see. A couple people in here. You look good. You play good. I agree.
Look
That's why I
good,
wore the
Pate.
number 29 as a hockey netminder. Manny Nunnery, a low-key guy, the Houston transfer. Nick, have you heard anything about him? There's a couple names I'm going to throw your way after
They heard
him.
negative things, I could tell.
He's just hasn't really stood out to me. I think he's played linebacker, he's played safety. I think he's kind of, I would use him as like a rover. Your nickel in running downs and running packages. So instead of having, Jaden Hill playing against, a 7-man front, you bring him in as a guy that plays nickel, that can play down in the box. I don't know that he's going to start over Wingo, Shamar, Trahaja. So to me, it's he's a guy without a real opportunity to break in as a linebacker, and you got to figure out some ways. I do think he's a guy that will play on special teams, though.
I haven't heard a lot about the other transfer that came from Michigan. What's his name? Spurlock?
Yeah, Deuce Spurlock.
Yeah.
What's he looking like in camp? Because linebackers is just a position to watch for me. So is he making any noise?
Not much noise.
Silent.
That long pause was just crazy, man.
Nick, what about let's see here, Jack Pyburn, a guy that we saw a little bit last year.
I like Jack. I'm interested with Jack because Princely's kind of taken over the edge role, and whether you call it Jack or edge, the NFL calls it edge. So
right,
whatever you want to call it, it's the edge position, a rusher. I think Princely it's a good move, and I've said it on the podcast already. It's a good move for him personally to try to get those sack numbers and show that he can play that at the next level. And then behind him, you've got Powell and Pyburn. I think we saw a lot of Pyburn last year on special teams, and I was surprised that they wasted, or I thought they were wasting his red shirt when they played him really only on special teams. But he's a guy that I like a lot. High motor. Were the other adjectives, Dan? High motor, Jim Rat.
Jim Rat, first in, last out, coach's kid.
I don't know. Pyburn
athletic.
Pyburn gave me Lattimore from program vibes, man. I like him.
He was a high level wrestler, and he's got a mean streak about him. Like he's when linebackers don't wear gloves and they just like tape their knuckles, there's something, there's a screw loose. That's him. That's the kind of linebacker he is. You want him on your team. I don't know how much he'll play. It probably depends on how much Princely's tapping his head to get a breather on the sideline. But I think him and Antoine Powell will be competing for reps behind Princely.
Yeah, man. Anybody that's running full speed and happy about running into the wedge on kickoff,
loving it.
Return. Yeah, I love him, man. That's a guy to watch on special teams. I was watching him when I was at a couple games because you can't see it on TV. But when I was at the game, I was like, bro, this dude is mad. Like,
I don't know what he's mad at.
I don't know what he's mad at, but he is mad, man. The entire time, full. I don't care if it goes through the end zone. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it all the way to the end zone when the ball lands. And he's gonna look upset that the returner didn't return it every time. So I like Pyburn. We'll see how he develops. It was a late get by Billy and the staff. Came down to us in Miami, but I like the kid a lot. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah, he likes being here.
Stock.
He's rocking that James Bates too. He's in that 44. I like it.
Looks fitting, man.
All right. So if you're listening, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button,
Yes, sir.
Ask a question. Super chat questions come first. And then just to keep everybody on paying attention and focused, why don't you write who you think is going to be the biggest standout on the Florida Gators defense this year? And then we'll do offense a little bit later. But who do you think is going to be the biggest standout on defense? With that, DG is what we'll call him from now on. Can Shamar be all SEC good in 2023? Should get a better opportunity with a stronger DL.
Yeah, I like Shamar to ball out this year. He showed a lot of promise as a freshman. I think the defensive tackles just always just being able to free those linebackers up and not letting offensive linemen get up the field just makes them play a lot better. So he's definitely gonna be able to play better with a better front in front of him. But I think he's gonna have a breakout season. I also think the defense is gonna be the strength of the team. Last year they was the weakness, I think the offense and the Florida Gators going to have to lean on their defense this year. We got a safety position to solidify a little bit, but once we get that figured out, I think we got a team that's going to be able to make some noise, man. I love the secondary, love my corners. Devin Moore, if he's healthy and you get a healthy Jason Marshall, what I'm hearing from him and what Corey Raymond's getting out of him this spring, we're going to get to see shutout number one DB1 vibes out of Jason Marshall, I think, this fall. So we'll see him reach his full potential. I think the defense, if we find that safety position, we could be lights out, bro. I like the additions that they brought in the transfer portal. And we got to see what the scheme looks like as well.
Yeah,
right.
I think the scheme will be very similar. It will be very similar.
I don't need a secondary scheme to be similar. I need Raymond's to have some voice in that secondary. That's what I want to see. I want to see West Corey Raymond's touches since Patrick Tony's gone. There was some gripe about the way Corey Raymond
coverages. Corey Raymond. So, and we talked a little greasy about Jason Marshall and the way he's playing right now. I think people are gonna be going back and clipping our shows and being like, "Yo, maybe Jason Marshall just wasn't who we thought he was." This playing that way. Now, listen, Ricky Pearsall is gonna get the best of you every once in a while, but I think Jason Marshall's a press man corner and wasn't playing that last year. And the big gripe between Tony and Corey Raymond was we need to be playing different coverages. We need to be playing this. And it was Patrick Tony's defense, and that was the call. In practice, Austin Armstrong is spending most of his time with the safeties, but I do like that he still kind of floats around because he doesn't have that position group. But he's definitely coaching the safeties, I think, more than Corey Raymond is. But I think the biggest difference will be that Corey Raymond will have either more say, definitely more say, but will have potentially the final say in, hey, these are the coverages that we need to be playing because I got these guys.
Well, and he should, right? I mean, he's probably one of the most decorated defensive backs coach in college football. He's earned that right and earned that responsibility. And I think that there was a lot of frustration. You saw it on the timeline. You saw it anytime that we would text each other. And obviously you saw it in the games. I mean, playing 10 yards off the ball on a 3rd and 2, right? I mean, there's just so many things that just didn't seem to make sense. One of the things that I do like about this team, Silk, you mentioned it before, was the defensive back room. And I know last season we went in with a lot of question marks. We ended the season with some question marks on there seems to be some talent. We lacked depth. They were young, but now you have Jason Marshall, Jalen Kimber, Jaden Hill, Devin Moore, right? You have 4 solidified players that have.
I think you could.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying you have 4. You have 4 players that have a lot of snaps under their belt. They're upperclassmen now for the most part in that group, and so you have some talented snaps there. You throw in Jakeem Jackson. I don't know much about what we'll see out of Sharif Denson this year, right? But you still, and then Aaron Gates is there too, right? So you now have some people underneath those guys that hopefully, I think Jakeem Jackson's going to get a lot of playing time. I'll say it again. A buddy of mine's a QB coach down in the Sarasota area, and he thinks Jakeem Jackson, not only the best DB in Florida last year, but was the best defensive back in the country last year. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time. You shuffle those 5, right? You add Denson in, right? You still have Ethan Pouncey. You still have who am I missing? I think that's kind of it, right? You have Aaron Gates too. So like these guys are going to now be able to fill in. And now if one of these guys goes out with an injury, tweak something, they need to, tap their helmet. You seem like you have a much better option than we did last year.
Quality depth at the cornerback spot. I think we have some guys that could figure out safety, but it's nothing we could hang our hat on right now. And I'll feel better once I can hang my hat on the safety position. And just seeing, no slight at these guys, but just seeing the way Rashard Torrance and Trey Dean tested, that even makes me feel better. It's just, to me, I don't even want to get into that. But I just think the safety room has a lot of potential, but we got to see it all come into fruition. I would like to get a guy in the portal before fall camp that has, that's a ball player. And I think we could find a guy like that. And I know they're looking for one. So we figure out the safety position, we're going to be all right on defense. I think we're going to be able to hang our hat. And we're going to have to depend on our defense because the offense, we don't have a guy at quarterback this year that's as dynamic as Anthony Richardson.
Florida has one safety right now that I think is trustworthy, and that's Miguel Mitchell, right? Kamari Wilson, athleticism, you saw him at times play really well. You saw him miss some coverages last year. You know, there were some plays that 5 made that if it was 0, a lot of people would have been calling his name out, but he was a freshman, so they rested on that. You have Jordan Castell as a freshman. You have Bryce Thornton as a freshman. Jadarius Perkins, it's kind of put up or shut up time, right? I mean, we've heard a lot about Jadarius Perkins, you know, over the last 3 years that he's been at Florida. This is an opportunity, you know, for him. You have Dakota Mitchell back there as well. He's entering his redshirt sophomore year, right? Jamarcus Weston moves back there. Don't know if that's going to be a thing when the summer rolls around, but you got to fill that empty spot. And then after that, you've got to have 2 guys to elevate, you know, behind those other 2. And I think it's going to be a freshman.
How's Jamarcus Weston looking at safety? I haven't heard anything about that move.
Probably for a reason.
Yeah, quiet again. Okay, Nick.
Very good.
When Nick's trying not to be negative, Nick, he just don't say nothing. He's just like, bro, I don't have anything for you.
Mama told me if you don't got nothing nice to say nothing at all. That makes for a weird podcast when you ask me about certain players.
Well,
when you move from receiver to safety and there's no noise at safety,
especially as a redshirt junior.
Yeah.
I have Florida. That's their biggest question mark, though, right? It's got to be safety
for sure.
So here's what I think. I think Florida. Well, first off, they're up against the 85, and that, you know, like Adam Mahalik was put on scholarship. Will he be on scholarship in the fall? I don't know. Will he transfer if he's not? Do you need 2 kickers on scholarship? I don't know. To me, the positions that Florida needs to go into the portal, and we can talk about Austin Simmons, him possibly reclassifying, but I think you need a 4th quarterback on the roster. And even if Simmons does reclassify, let's say Grayson McCall figures his academic situation out and he comes back in the portal. If he wants to come, yeah, you take him too. I think Florida needs another quarterback in the portal. You want 4 on scholarship. You need a safety, in my opinion. You need a safety that can play. Not a safety just to play special teams and to fill in. You need a guy who has experience that can play day one if you need him to. I think you need another edge rusher. I think you need an outside receiver. You could use another offensive lineman, just the way that you're seeing some guys go down with injuries. Florida's got some work to do in the transfer portal, and you don't have a bunch of scholarship numbers. So I guess, and I don't like to opine about who's going to leave, but I think you're going to have some guys, you know, doing the math, looking at the depth chart, and you'll have some guys leave because Florida has to get, in my opinion, 5, 6, 7 guys from the portal when it opens in 10 days.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have to push them out. I think a lot of these guys, like, they're making position changes, that are moving. If they get passed on the depth chart by younger guys, they don't see a lot
Things
of
on the wall.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall, and you need them to make it to that next level in the league. Some of these guys going to graduate and have opportunities, so it's just going to be expected. And I'm pretty sure the staff already had some of those conversations, man.
I mean, here's a name that we've not talked about since maybe his recruitment. Jalen Humphreys, you know, redshirt junior, defensive line, needs a lot of help. Not a guy that I've heard a lot about. Nick, can you share anything on Jalen Humphreys? Not saying that he's going to transfer, but
he's a depth guy right now. You know, where he's playing, he's not playing ahead of Cam. He's not playing ahead of McClellan. He's not playing ahead of Watson. So he's a depth guy.
Yeah, you might graduate. You know, just looking, there's some names on here that I can see. Nick, let's talk a little bit about edge. We talked a little bit about Boone, Searcy a little bit early, and obviously
Justice Boone. I have not mentioned him at all in the podcast. That's a dude. Kind of a man amongst men in that locker room. Like when he talks, people listen. I think he was kind of just lost in the shuffle. They had so many guys at defensive end. Tyreek Sapp's definitely moving more inside. I think Justice Boone will be your starting defensive end. I love his motor. He gives, like, from an emotional standpoint, from a caregiving standpoint, he's like big Tebow vibes, very vocal, in your face. If you're doing something wrong, he will grab your face mask and let you know that. Like, that's the kind of player that Justice Boone is. And he enjoys that role. I think as a young player at the beginning of last year, you kind of don't know if that's your place. You don't know if you're overstepping, you know, your boundaries. But towards the end of last year, towards the middle of last year, he just said, no, screw it. Like, this is, I need to, if no one else is going to do it, I need to be the one. He is very, very respected in that locker room.
Excellent. Other names that are on here. Where am I? Cameron James, Scooby Williams. That's who I was thinking of. Have we heard much about old Scoob?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're cross-training him or if it didn't work out at edge. I think Scooby Williams is an edge. I don't think he's an inside linebacker, but he was really only an edge for like 3 practices, and they moved him back. So to me, and this is not any intel, but this is just me covering the team for 10 years. If they tried you somewhere new and you did it for 3 practices and then you got sent back, that tells me it wasn't working out. And then I don't think he's starting over, the guys we've already mentioned, right there at that spot.
Hey, shout out to Who That Gator, man. He right, bro. We got 112 people in here vibe and get them likes up, man. Like, it don't cost nothing to show love. Yeah, you sitting in here, you ain't liking. You a hater.
I'm one of those likes.
I'm one of those likes too.
I'm a hater because I really like
Harrison. Go like us, Harrison. I know you're still listening in the green room, so go like it. Go put it on your story. You're in our group chat for a reason.
Harrison probably downloaded some kind of like Chrome extension so he could dislike the video. Just
I
hating ass Harrison.
I heard School's made some plays in the backfield the last couple of practice days. He's been back there a little bit and causing some chaos.
Well, we'll see. We'll see Thursday's second scrimmage. I'm gonna have a depth chart coming out tomorrow. A projected depth chart coming out tomorrow. Second scrimmage tomorrow, I think is around.
You want to just read it off here, or have you not done it yet?
I haven't even written it yet.
Very good. Who do you got at starting kicker? Mihalik or Smack?
Mahalik.
All right. They're both sophomores. One's a redshirt sophomore. The other one's a sophomore.
Hey, tell Anthony. So I went on Anthony's show, and he was talking. I was in my negative bag.
I can see that.
I wasn't in my negative bag. He was talking about how many wins. So I made him pull up the schedule and made him go through the schedule.
He went undefeated.
I could see the energy dropping as some realizations happened without me influencing anything.
Yeah.
Ace Wade. Ace Wade. Call in. Defend your record.
I do need to get on the show. Last 2 weeks. Last week, I don't remember what I had going on. This week, obviously, we're doing this show. Anthony, we'll figure out a time. But I appreciate you listening, my friend. Make sure you like and subscribe. I think you already do.
Y'all record on bender days? You can't record on bender days, Ace. You got to record on regular.
Monday, I'm usually just kind of worn out from the day plus our pod. Yeah. Tuesday and Wednesday. After that, you just never know, right? Tomorrow's the Frozen Four, right? We're watching Michigan versus Minnesota, and we're watching Quinnipiac versus BU.
No, we're not.
Where did Dan go? Shout out to that, man. Nobody want to hear about whatever you're saying.
Nah, we're not watching the Frozen Four.
What is the Frozen Four? All right, he's back.
The Frozen, like your internet.
We got easy, killer. I pay way too much for the internet to be bad. So Minnesota versus Michigan and Quinnipiac versus BU. It's going to be a barn burner tomorrow. A little college hockey. Starts at 5, ends at 11:30.
At night?
Yeah. 2 different games. One starts at 5, one starts at 8:30. That's enough time for me to get, 12, 13 of the tall boy. We'll probably drink some Molson tomorrow because it's hockey. Maybe some Labatt Blue.
Shout out to the puppy on the bed, man.
Shout out to the puppy on the bed. All right. Let's see. Man's talking hockey. You know what, DG? That's what you get. That's just what you get. Must be new around here.
DG's picture on his profile is hilarious as well.
It's nuts. Nathaniel Rogers, always appreciate you listening, my dude. To be honest, you can't predict the season because of upgrades on the front and skill position. Yeah, Nick. So stop predicting.
Too many upgrades, and still got a portal to get here. But
I gotta keep predicting. We got clickbait all day.
Yeah, that's where the bread's at, man. You got to clickbait them, Nick.
Yeah. Let's get into offense. Oh, go ahead, Silk.
I just like my trenches. If I get a quarterback in the portal, I feel I'll start lying a little bit. I just can't commit my lies until I get. And I'm not saying Graham Mercer's playing bad because I haven't heard that at all. But for me, to get my lies off. I just need one of these quarterbacks that's struggling in the quarterback battle, that lose one of these quarterback battles in Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama. It's a lot of quarterback battles. Give me one of them guys that's going to hit
Just
the
don't
portal.
give me Beck from Georgia.
And with my trenches, I don't know. No. That's a no-go.
So one that I like in Texas Silk is I don't want to mess up his name.
Quinn Ewers. I like him too.
No. I mean, how many schools can Quinn go to? Malik Murphy. He seems to be the odd man out.
Mm-hmm.
I will throw caution at this. He is from Gardena, California.
Oh, he's going to go to Arizona State.
Oh no!
And get a bicycle.
Oh, that's just
not even an e-bike.
Mean spirited.
Hey, Dan bought stock of Dan Ruiz, the troll. I can say
that is incredible.
Yeah, that's a clever move. I need to step my game up.
It's levels, you know.
Yeah.
Silk might win all the awards, but hidden behind the best picture. Oh man, we got Anthony. Anthony, what's up, dude?
Yo, what's going on with y'all?
Vibrations, man.
Wade.
I don't know what Nick told y'all in here, but he lied, man.
That sounds right.
Never lied. I'm going to chop a cherry tree down right now.
I know two things about Ace. He's positive, and he's also a homer and a sunshine pumper. So I know no way he folded. Pump that sunshine real quick for us, Ace.
I can't lie right now. I got to see the spring game first. I'm pretty much like you. I'm not going to lie right now. I want to do it.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, Ace, want to get your thoughts, Nick and Silk. This is a topic that who was it? Hugh Freeze brought up.
Yeah,
said that instead of spring games, let's play some other non-conference, out-of-conference type schedule or teams. Maybe play a school in your state that you might not otherwise play. What are your thoughts on that? Ace, we'll start with you and then go around the circle.
My first question is, bro, how many games you trying to play? I don't like it because you need that spring period to kind of evaluate where you are as a team, and you have new players coming in. They can get acclimated to the system as soon as they get there, since kids are early enrolling nowadays frequently. So kind of want to keep the spring game, but I can understand where he's coming from. I mean, adding another non-conference game, I get it, but just with some of these states, like, who are you going to play? I mean, you don't really have another Division I team that you could play.
It'd have to be like an FAU or FIU, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, who's going to really go to watch that at that point?
Yeah, I don't know how beneficial it will be.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't think people are going to care regardless.
Right. Yeah, I like the I don't know. I will. It just, you want to make it out of spring. You want to install in spring. You want to make it out of spring healthy, and that's it. You know,
that second one. That's the one.
Yeah. I don't know about the games and out of conference and that's too much, bro.
It's football. You can get hurt, just in practice. But I think having Florida play FAU, FAU's coming to play that game. Like, hey, we don't get to play this.
Yeah, they bring their big five.
Yeah,
trick plays and all, Dan.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you start getting into some weird. So I like the idea. I think you would just have so many rules have to be agreed on with the coaches. Like, hey, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. That you would get the same watered down scrimmage that you're going to get. Now, not like the Dan Mullen spring game where, Chris Doering's catching a touchdown during the spring game. I'm like, what are we even doing here? But I think you would, it opens up Florida to losing to FIU when it's a spring game. So I like the idea. I just don't see how it would be executed well.
All right. So who
wants to play a away spring game? I don't even care if you FAU or FIU. Who wants to play away spring? It's just such a fan thing, a family thing, program thing. It's usually free. The tickets is open. And it's like, who wants to go to an away stadium to do that type of thing?
You can do like the old jamborees where you split your team in half. Since you guys you echoed what I was going to say, do you think the fans care? Drop a comment in the chat if you guys would care or not care. I guess my opinion on the matter is I don't know if fans would truly care. I don't know if a ton more fans would go out if Florida was playing FIU for a spring game that would otherwise not go to an orange and blue game. Right? I mean, do you guys think that it could be I'm
gonna show up. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Am I gonna go? Yeah, I'm a fanatic, bro. It's the reason why I started podcasting. I'm just a fanatic. I'm showing up next week. If I got time and availability, I'm definitely gonna show up. I'll participate, but
it's not gonna change what you were gonna do regardless, right? Like if you were on, and obviously you're a bigger fan than the average fan, but if you imagine yourself just sitting on the fence there, do you think that would persuade you one way or another to go or not go?
Nah, man. I don't foresee it. What about you guys?
I'm contractually obligated.
Yeah, Nick's contractually obligated. St. Walker said they do it season the NFL.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit different though. One, they're getting paid, and two, they're cutting people at the end of that spring, so it's a little bit different. But
it's audition.
Yeah. Ace, what are your thoughts? Would you be more interested if Florida's playing FAU, or even if you went out of state, if Florida played like Valdosta or something, would you care?
I mean,
more.
I mean, I'll go, but it'd be weird when you think about it because you think of the spring game, like I said, you think that's just the team kind of installing everything. But I could see playing against another team. It just depends on who it is. If it's like FAU, I mean, I'll care more if they're playing FAU instead of like going out of state, playing like a Valdosta or somebody like that, or even playing a Florida State somehow. Just play them in the spring. I'll definitely go to that, but for the most part, I mean, it's either or with me. It doesn't really matter too much.
You can't be playing the old people in spring, man. Florida State got like 40-year-old seniors, bro. You can't be out there in spring. They only can play in the fall, man.
Nathaniel, spring practices are not for fans, designed to give coaches a sense of direction. St. Walker said we'd go because we're bored.
Yeah. That's why I'm going next week.
Yeah.
They canceled the Freddie Gibbs show, so I was just like, well, what am I gonna do?
I'd rather have one preseason game before the season starts. Derek Mercer says. He also said 7 wins max for this season.
Max. Hey, Derek, get out of here, bro.
Make sure you like.
I know who that is, man. Nah, you log off, Derek. I'll talk to you later, bro. You log off with that negativity. You Black Nick, bro. 7 wins max. What kind of outlook is that, bro? You got one job, man. That's to cheer. You can't even do that right. Cheer, bro.
You can't even do that. You're third string cheerleader.
Yeah, bro. You're cheerleader.
Just a suggestion. No more calling for sweeps for the baseball team. No more.
Oh,
yeah.
No more.
Yeah. The one they did sweep, I was that away?
You were. Yeah,
I was out of town.
We got to use our Donovan.
Having an awesome time.
We had an awesome time too because we swept the team.
We got to send Nick out of town again. We got to send him out of town at this point.
Well, the team's out of town this weekend while I stay at home.
Not contractually obligated to go out of town.
Listen, buddy, we got football going on. Football pays the mortgage. Baseball, we got a cool little community of baseball fans, but they're not paying for this room I'm sitting in right now.
We might possibly win this weekend since the team's gonna be in Knoxville. So hey, never know.
That's gonna be a dope series. Tennessee and Florida 2 years ago when they were in Knoxville was heated. Last year, Hunter Barker tore his UCL, had to get Tommy John surgery the same week of the Tennessee series. They swept Florida at home. I think they won a regular season national championship in Knoxville, celebrated like it, and then didn't win anything. So this is going to be, I think we're going to see some tempers. We're going to see some chirping. I'm excited for it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Knoxville. The weather looks absolutely trash on Friday and Saturday.
Did you guys see the weather for the Masters this week? Just
terrible. Just awful. I watched the par 3 today, though.
I got a question. Hey, I got a question for you, Nick. What style of spring game are we having? Have you heard anything about the style, the teams, how they splitting it? Like, what's the format?
No, I think we'll probably ask Billy that tomorrow.
That's a good question.
Last year they Billy does like saying good
Probably
question.
need me on the beat, Dan.
Need you on the beat, like mustard.
Hey, silk on the beat.
I'll ask him tomorrow, but I would expect mostly ones versus twos, and kind of like last year, you'll get to see both Mertz and Miller, both sides of the law firm, with the ones and with the twos.
Okay. I heard Mertz dropped the dime. I mean, not Mertz. I heard Jack Miller dropped the dime to Aiden Mizell, man. That's the word on the streets, man. Like a 40, 50-yard bomb, something crazy.
Streets talking?
Streets buzzing a little bit.
Ooh.
Got some light. They getting off some lies.
They're getting off their lies.
Let's see. St. Walker, this is not the college football. Our grandparents grew up watching the kids get paid some. It can help smaller schools making the spring game a byproduct and having tougher matchups in the fall.
I like it. I like that. I just don't know. Like, I would see that both coaches, just trying to get out there healthy. Hey, you can't blitz more than 5. You can't bring more than 5 because they don't want their quarterbacks to get hurt. Hey, I just see like you're having to agree to like so many stipulations that you don't get the a real football game as it is. Like you're looking like it's gonna look like almost like Pro Bowl, NFL Pro Bowl style, where it's not the same game.
All right, let me paint this scenario for you. So I get hired as a football coach in December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to install a whole system of offense and defense in a few weeks of spring, and then play another program. I just don't know if it like works for like new hires, new staff. Like it's just too much new stuff going on. Fresh out the signing day, all of that. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense in that regard. A lot of just coaches are not going to be with it from that standpoint.
And you add another thing to their plate, right?
Yeah,
we already talked about how much coaches have on their plate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. No.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
bourbon
the
talking.
king of answers. I like interrupting people, man. It's my thing.
Ace, what else you got? What other hot takes? What's a player you're excited about on offense and defense? Don't name a bunch, just name one on each. And special teams.
Oh, he about to do the what was it? R. Kelly? Say, oh man, all of them.
I'll go ahead. Know if you want to be like that right now, but special teams, I'll say anybody that can actually return a punt or kick. Just anybody at this point.
Who do you think can return a punt or a kick?
I better see Eugene Wilson third out there. I would like to see him returning punt at least.
I'm with you on that one.
Andy Jean. Clear as day, because what we're seeing with him out there is, that kid's definitely gonna start. Not by week 1, he'll be starting by week 3 at least.
Hey, this is a quick question. You brought up Eugene, or you brought up Andy Jean's name. I want to have a question for each of you to answer. Who do you think has a better career at Florida, Andy Jean, Aiden Mizell, or Eugene Wilson?
Whew. That's tough.
Throw Harrison back in here for this too. I want to hear what he has to say.
All right, Harrison.
Great. I really want to say Andy Jean, but I think
South Florida bias. South Florida bias.
I'm gonna hit you with the Corso and say not so fast. Trey Wilson, even though I'm gonna hate being, if I'm wrong on this, I'm gonna hate it. But Trey Wilson.
All right. So see you later, Harrison.
I'm all in on the Andy Jean start like you are with Life Wallet, man. Give me Andy Jean, man. I think Eugene Wilson has an incredible ceiling with all that speed, top end speed. Production could be crazy, but give me the professional, bro. Andy Jean brought that work, man. I got Andy Jean, South Florida bias, man. Harrison ain't want to embrace it. I got it.
So I hadn't put this out anywhere yet, but I think Andy Jean has been running with the 3s. I also think
they're trying to humble him. That's all.
Okay.
Harrison, you're back. Need you to look Nick in the eyes when he tells you this.
Wow. I think he's been running with the 3s as the leader of the Andy Jean propaganda hype train. It was discouraging to hear and see that. We will rebuild.
Do you
stand
think,
strong.
Gotta let it cook, man.
Nick, do you think it was maybe to give some other opportunity to some people that are maybe a
I like
little
that
bit
spin.
lower on the depth chart?
I like that spin.
I like it too.
I like
Professional
that
spin guy. over
What's
here.
what's the
Spin doctor.
what's the depth chart? If who are running, which wide receivers are running with the 1s and 2s if he's with the 3s? But I'm not shaking
Dude,
about that depth chart at all.
Khalil Jackson.
Mm.
Khalil Jackson's having
Willie
a spring.
Jackson's grandson.
Yeah, Khalil Jackson's having a spring, and if we're talking guys, to get scholarships, I think he might be on track to be a scholarship player next year.
We don't have any more.
Well,
Space for all that.
you got some moving and shuffling that needs to happen. I'm gonna go to get back on topic because
Thank you.
I'm elite at derailing the train. I'm gonna go with Andy Jean. Still can't backtrack yet, but I love Eugene Wilson's potential. I think as soon as Ricky Pearsall leaves, Eugene Wilson's your starting slot receiver in 24, and I want to see him on punt return, kick return, like Anthony said too.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go Aiden Mizell because it allows for better radio. Obviously, a shifty guy, a speedster. His parents are both scholarship athletes. Like what I see about him from high school. Played in the 813. I mean, outside of the 954, probably the best area to play football in all of Florida. I think that he's going to be a fantastic player at the University of Florida. He's going to come in. He's quick. I think he might get some opportunity on kick or punt return. Maybe it's not, right off the bat that he's the best or the star wide receiver, but I think the time career's done. I'm going to go Aiden Mizell.
Really quickly on the area, I'll be the area code police because a friend of the show, Connor, would be very disappointed that you acknowledged Aiden as 813 instead of Orlando.
Oh, well. Oh, yeah, 407. I take it back. I go to Eugene Wilson.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out. I changed my opinion.
He tried to make it even for radio, and then just like, no, forget to
fumbled the bag.
Aiden Mizell got a lot of top end speed. Like I said, I heard he caught a deep pass from Jack Miller. He's running with the 3s as well. I expect a lot of these freshmen to run with 3s, but fall camp is amongst us. It'll be here in the fall, and plus, a lot of these people just be practice All-Americans. We've heard of some great practice All-Americans over the year that never translated to the field. We'll see how it all works out, but Andy Jean, Eugene Wilson, and Aiden Mizell, all elite work.
I don't think there's a wrong answer out of any of those three.
Well, there is, because we're going to have empirical data to back us up, right?
See, I'm going to go Andy Jean slightly over Trey Wilson. I mean, because I get it with Trey Wilson. He's going to be eventually your starting slot receiver. He's going to be on special teams, but just watch Andy Jean, what he does, the work he puts in, and how he carries himself. He literally looks like a professional player out there. Just the way he moves out there.
Just on the third team.
Yeah, he was on the third team. I feel like that's egregious, but hey, we're not the coaches, so.
Well, Billy Napier does listen to this show. That's been confirmed. At least one
Friend
episode
of the show.
he listened to the entire thing.
He actually hangs out on the show too. I don't know if y'all ever heard the episode, but he definitely vibes with us. Yeah.
Who Dat Gator 228 just want the new Ike, Riedel, and Quez.
Oh, yeah, that's
Gaffney, Reese, and Jacobs. Just easy.
No pressure,
these are easy things, right?
I'd like a Richard Milley. Let's just make that happen.
Very good. Derek Mercer said Andy Jean is running with the 3s to develop chemistry with future Florida Gators starting quarterback, potentially even in game 1, Max Brown.
It's been Max Brown. Like Max Brown is the new Kyle Trask of backup quarterbacks. He has a strong arm, probably the strongest of the 3. Has some dual threat capabilities. He can move a little bit. I like what I've seen just from him, just little highlights, but that don't tell us a whole lot. But I'm not. Kyle Trask created a lot of chemistry with some guys running with them 3s, and then it worked out for him. So
I got a question.
Wester
is Derek Mercer?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, is Derek Mercer Noop from Twitter?
Yeah, that's Noop. Same guy.
Okay, that's why he's lying about Max Brown. Got
it. Chase
Detective Harrison.
Chase Wester, I hope that's your photo. Looking ready to play, catch that Andy Jean type route.
Nice I can tell what route he's running. He's running a slant there. I can tell.
Chase, let us know if you're running a slant there and how long your touchdown was.
I'm
Argument would be.
I'm gonna jump it because I know what route he running. Dan, what do you mean?
Hey, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's go.
Sounds like we got a spring game 1-on-1. Chase, be in Gainesville. Silk, where you say he's going to be there.
You already know he does.
Spot. Oh, he's jumped.
Depends on who Silk's coach is. Might have him 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Before you give me a coach, you gotta give me an NIL deal before you give me a coach.
Silk is too nice with it. All right, that's enough, Chase.
That's,
all right,
that's enough.
That's
enough compliments.
I'm keeping receipts like I did with Trask, Max Brown, QB1. You're gonna have a lot of receipts.
He called Trask too, man. Shout to Newton.
I was saying,
my man.
Trask. He did call that.
Yeah, he was.
Bro, I was on the trash train.
Oh boy.
First spring.
No, you weren't.
Check in with Spencer Meekins and then talk to me.
Shouting. Me and Spence.
Yes,
Me and Spence were day one trash train. Screaming from the rooftops.
You were negative Felipe Franks train.
Well, you know that there's many trains that I'm on.
I think he just did a show you had to do his Murphy on, right? And he said he went out to the practice and everybody kind of saw that Kyle Trask was the better quarterback. And I'm sitting there thinking, while listening to it, I'm like, well, if he sees it and a lot of other people see it, how come that coach who will not be mentioned ever again didn't see it like everybody else?
Because he made the same mistake a lot of coaches make, man. It's politics in football. You bring in a guy as highly recruited as Felipe Franks, like they want to see him play. So he like Louis Murphy, not the only one. Zach Aberverde used to hit me up all the time. Just man, Kyle could play. Like he's better than Franks. Like a lot of people used to hit me up saying that Kyle Trask was better, but it's politics in football, bro. Like everybody that's starting ain't starting because they better. That's just the facts.
Right.
I'm going to pull up an old Harrison. We'll see you later. Ace, we're just going to keep you in the stream as well. We'll bring you back in. I found this old thread. Silk, this will be a lot of fun. Let's see if I just hit the present button, share screen.
This feels like a setup.
So Ty Pod, if you guys remember him, we had a debate about Kyle Trask. This goes back to 2016, years before this episode even started. This is Silk openly hating on Kyle Trask. Yeah. The other guy was better. I was arguing that Kyle Trask couldn't transfer, could play.
Where's the hate? Show me the hate. I don't hate. I leave it
it's somewhere. It's somewhere in there.
Wait. Go back up because there was a deleted tweet. Silk's quick.
No, that's Tide Pod. It's a suspended account. Rest in peace to the account.
That makes sense from the old Tide Pod account.
So I can assume it was negative. Silk and Ty know that he could have started at any school in Texas. Strict transfer rules. Silk responds back to my old Twitter handle. So he had a transfer to start. That's our point. Now it's completely different offense. That was a spread. Look at the QB. He went to TCU.
Exactly. This is what I said. My take on Kyle Trask was never that he was a trash quarterback. I said the University of Florida. We didn't have any quarterback committed, right? And our take at the time was Kyle Trask. I said the University of Florida, our QB1 cannot be a backup quarterback. This is the University of Florida. You can't recruit as your QB1 a backup quarterback. That was a solid take. Never hated on the kid. And then I was right because they brought in Felipe Franks as well. You can't have that guy be your quarterback one as a backup quarterback at the University of Florida. I don't care how well it pans out later, but when you're recruiting them, at that point, I got a job to do. And my job as fanatic is to say, yeah.
and I mean, as I've always said,
I didn't pump sunshine. No.
As I've always said, I thought Kyle Trask was going to be a great player for the University of Florida. And
as you've always said, the season goes as Jaden Hill goes.
Let's look some old Kyle Trask tweets. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see how far they go back.
Now that you say that, Nick, that was a curse. That wasn't a tape.
Well, Dan looks that up. Silk, do you remember how Felipe committed? Do you remember that whole little mini saga? Because there's never a normal moment in Gator Twitter, Gator fans. You remember it?
Yeah, so I remember before you get to campus. Shout out to Little Rose. Little Rose and Dwayne Haskins DMs setting these visits up, man, making it happen as a fanatic of the fan base. But I was excited for this game that they was heading to because I knew Dwayne Haskins was about to flip. But go ahead, Nick, finish your thing. Felipe Franks.
I think Felipe had like just decommitted from LSU. I don't know the story there. He's on campus, and Dwayne Haskins is also on campus. And I think both of them are enjoying their time. And you start doing numbers. Felipe fires off that, I'm committing to Florida, staying home. We didn't get a gunslinger from Nuss. We didn't get whatever Max emoji thing was. And we're all like, what's happening? Are we doing this?
I was still waiting on Dwayne Haskins. I'm committed.
Yeah. You're like,
rest in peace. Rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah. There can only be one, but I think Felipe was like, there's only one spot. Who can hit the buzzer faster? Bop.
So here I am, 2015.
Back to Dan.
Dude. Well, no, that's fine. Gators should have signed Paxton Lynch. Multiple exclamation marks.
Where'd you go? Memphis?
Don't sign Kyle Trask. Yeah, he wanted to go to Florida, I believe. I don't think Florida was totally interested in him at the time. He goes to Memphis, has a pretty good career there, gets drafted a couple years in the NFL, I think with the Broncos. Maybe. But that's a name. Who was the guy years ago that committed to Florida and they didn't put out an emoji about him? You guys remember? Harrison probably remembers because he's
put Harry back in.
Whoa.
What year?
I don't remember. It was just some point in the last 7 years.
It was Franks.
That was fraud. That was flagrant. That was
my
flagrant.
bad.
Yeah, you think about it, Harrison. All right.
Dan is just yo-yoing Harrison.
Well, yeah. He's got to think about it. When Harrison, when you know, you put your hoodie down and we'll bring you back in. Didn't the same thing happen with Corral and Fields?
Fields wasn't committing that day.
Not totally. Yeah, not totally.
Fields wanted to take it all the way to whatever his decision date was, and Florida had to solidify that quarterback position, and Matt Corral was ready. So they took Matt. In hindsight 2020, you couldn't go wrong either one of those guys in a college career.
Shout out to Jim McElwain and that staff.
No.
Before Jim McElwain self-imploded, they were figuring out recruiting. Like Matt Corral was coming. Jamar Chase was coming with Matt Corral to Florida. That class before Jim McElwain made up death threats and then refused to show any of the evidence. Florida, Drew Hughes, that staff, Randy Shannon with his specials.
Jamar Chase.
Shout out to Gregory Nord. Those guys had figured out recruiting, and that class was going to be fired before Matt got fired.
But sometimes addition by subtraction is the best thing for your program.
Yeah, Matt couldn't figure out offense. He had to go, man.
Chase knows that 2017 class was going to be good.
You think? I don't know if Jamar Chase would have stuck. I just felt like he was going to end up at LSU regardless. But
program sources said that he was staying. Loved the idea of playing. Oh, drop my microphone. Loved the idea of playing with Chase, or not with Chase, with
just playing with himself.
Matt Corral.
With Matt Corral. Florida had things figured out, and then until they didn't.
What's Matt Corral up to these days?
He's getting ready for the draft, or was he was drafted last year?
No, he was drafted last year. He was on the Carolina Panthers.
There you go.
Number 9.
He might be Anthony Richards' backup.
Ooh, the Indianapolis Colts had a plane in Gainesville today. They pick 4th?
Mm-hmm.
Who is their starting quarterback? Would it just be Anthony right away?
Yeah, because Baker's gone. Well, I guess he would have to beat out what's the guy that they got from the Jets when they got Zach Wilson?
Foles and Sam Ellinger.
Oh, did they not re-sign the Jets guy whose name I'm forgetting? Or maybe they traded him.
Gardner Minshew, who you talking about?
No, I'm not talking about Gardner Minshew.
Shout out to Minshew, man.
Best quarterback that Jacksonville's had in a long time. Let's see.
Don't you ever disrespect my team like that.
Gardner Minshew, Jacksonville Duval legend.
He's a legend.
Duval legend.
He's a
I was thinking of Sam Darnold.
He's a fan favorite. I won't call him a legend. He's a fan favorite because he just came out of nowhere, pause, and just started, winning some games as a backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks are always popular. But Minshew is not a legend. Brunel is a legend. Leftwich is a legend. Don't give me no Minshew. That's disrespectful.
Let's see. Looking at the quote or the chat here. Nick looks like he's ready for bed. That's just how Nick looks. Whether he just woke up or whether he's ready to go to bed. That's who he is.
I need the Post Malone tattoo. Always tired. Right under my eyes. Right on top of these bags. I'm good to go, baby. I'm alive.
All right. Ace, ask Harrison your question. We're gonna kick you both out again.
Dan's ruthless.
Well, it's a lot. Five's a crowd.
Well, because I see the comment Harrison has in the other chat here. So I wanted to ask him who you want as a transfer quarterback option.
Yeah, let me write this down so we can timestamp it.
Give that shopping list.
I mean, if Grayson McCall can pass basket weaving, that'd be great. But
it would be fantastic.
Harrison, we're getting you an HD here.
That'd be fantastic. I mean, Grayson McCall's one. I think the other ones that are going to be in the portal after spring aren't even in it yet. So, I mean, I am out on Malik Murphy as someone who has a couple friends at UT. They do not have positive reviews. So,
are they coaches?
I'm out on that. Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever you want to call it.
He's got bad Yelp reviews.
Yeah, he's got bad Yelp reviews, and I mean, I just don't. I mean, look, we can talk about Simmons or not. If Simmons comes, great, but if he does, I don't think they take any quarterbacks. God damn it!
I'm silly.
Let's get childish.
If Simmons is here this summer, I don't think they take another portal quarterback. I think that's it, and I think it's just
you got your 4 then.
What are you guys hearing on Simmons? Harrison, you probably know too. Words out that he's not reclassifying. Words out that he also wants to get his PhD at Florida. Somebody's like, I don't think a Florida quarterback's ever earned their PhD while playing. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'd have to look it up. We had to look up Bruce Bennett's name, but
shoot, Jake McGee was one more knee injury away from getting close.
I think the Bulls got one.
McGee. Social media legend Jake McGee, actually.
The Bulls left a full-time
Cantina 101 RIP 101 Cantina legend Jake McGee. That's as far as I'll go with that. But
Jake, I just remembered Jake McGee. If you listen, you stood me up at the Florida State game. Now that you guys bring Jake McGee, he's supposed to met me at the tailgate at Florida State game, and then pull up, man. So shout out to Jake McGee, still my guy.
All right, Harrison, you've not answered the question. You have to name a name that's not Grayson McCall.
That's going to be in the portal. That's already in the portal.
You just have to name a quarterback. We know the transfer portal's not open.
That boy ain't prepared. No
pontificate.
Call Jackson Dart if Walker Howard wins. Let's get weird.
That's what I'm saying. I like the Ole Miss situation. They got some heat out there. Lane. Somebody gonna lose. 2 people gonna lose their job. So there's 2 options in at Ole Miss.
If no Spencer Sanders, I don't want any of Spencer.
I'm still surprised he chose Ole Miss.
I think that's more of I'm just gonna go there for my 5th year, enjoy the Grove, and be a GA.
Vibe on the Grove.
Not a bad way to spend your 5th year.
Hey, I would like to.
I spent my 40th year there. I might go out there myself.
The second best DK that's involved with this show said you. And then Texas has got to have a QB enter the portal.
They will.
Yeah. I think Alabama will. Ole Miss will. Texas
I'm rooting for Arch.
Georgia will.
I'm rooting for Baby Manning to win that Texas job. Then we get
Baby Manning ain't getting that Texas job.
Man, let me do me, man. You just hating on my lies and my wishes.
You gotta get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Yeah. This isn't his show.
Golly.
Hit him with the golly.
Ewers me when Manning wins. Yeah, I mean that's the name that I said. Quinn Ewers is my QB1. But Nick doesn't seem to agree with me there. That's going to be Malik, and apparently he's not the move. Manning's name will win him the job. I don't know.
No, I don't think
not as a true freshman. I think that if he's not the starter by the end of his redshirt freshman year or sophomore year, he's out. Or if it doesn't look like he's going to start his sophomore year, I think he's out.
Look at this. Hold on. I know he changed. Here you go, Dan. Let me see this.
Nick, somebody's
Nick, better not say it like that, bro. You said that,
Nick, has somebody been listening to this chat?
No, I put that on the message board today. And we were trying to keep it on the message board, but here it is. Listen, it's just the streets talking. Dan, that link I sent you was just a picture of a glorious picture of Quinn Ewers, potential Florida quarterback.
What are you hearing about Kamari in camp that gives you Trey Dean conversation? Because he must have got real slow.
That's a quarterback that I need at Florida.
I don't know, bro. He might tear White. He might take White Buffalo up. Look at this guy.
he might tear White Buffalo up. He might tear Palatka up.
He might. Hey, where's Quinn? Oh, he's back in Palatka. He's missing practice.
Yeah,
you got that NIL deal with Zika.
Yeah.
Nick, say it.
Great. No, say what?
Say it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on the screen.
The Kamari shenanigans, man.
Yeah.
I just don't think what I'm hearing is he's playing a lot like Trey Dean. Trey Dean was a 3-year starter.
What do you mean playing a lot like him? Here's the safety position.
Similar game.
Here's the safety position, right? Because I remember my man named Marcus May. He cost me some money. A lot of money, especially with the Miami game. Man, I lost so much money, bro. But I watched him. I also watched Keanu Neal. All those guys didn't really figure out the safety position until like later in their career.
He smacked Derrick Henry in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, but them boys was barbecuing there early in their careers at safety. You know, safety is a different position, and it's got to click on a collegiate level. So I don't want to Trey Dean. I don't know, bro. That's a harsh take. That's a harsh.
I'm not as down on Trey Dean as most people. Trey Dean's going to get drafted and will play in the NFL.
I don't know, bro. He'll get drafted, man, but it's going to be difficult. Just talking to some guys the last few days, I had him. My perception changed a little bit after talking to a couple of agents and people around it, man. Have we seen him play special teams like that? Like we could say we think he can maybe make a NFL roster and do some wild things on special teams because he looks athletic, but special teams is a different type of mindset. Like, have we seen Trey Dean play special teams? Because he's gonna have to.
No, and I don't think he was ever really asked to because he came in right away and was forced to play as a freshman when Marco went down. And then they tried to move him, corner. Then they tried to move him to nickel, and he didn't.
Then he threatened to transfer,
and then they tried to move him to safety, and he didn't want to move to safety. So there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I mean, I don't know if it was behind the scenes, but I thought it was.
No, not at all.
What's Harrison got going on? What are you doing, Harrison? Get out of here.
No mean tweets. Don't get him in trouble. Trey Dean. There's going to be a difference if you want to be a professional football player, if you want to provide for yourself and for your family, and you have to do that by running down the field on special teams like Jack Pyburn does.
Everybody ain't Jack Pyburn, baby.
Hey, it's not for a scholarship anymore. It's not. It's not. You know,
Jack is mad. Jack is mad. Trey's happy.
Jack's mad at the grass for growing
and
stomping on it as he's running down.
That's my type of guy.
Yeah,
mad because his coffee hot.
I've never heard that. That's good. Listen, Trey Dean, from all the scouts I've talked to, Trey Dean's going to play NFL football. At least for a contract, he's going to play NFL football.
Oh, look at Jack.
I love Jack. Jack might be my favorite player.
Oh my God, I love this dude, man. He hasn't played really yet.
DK Pyburn equals big violence. Eric Wells, I missed a comment from you earlier. I meant to share. I'll go up and find it. Matt Patchen didn't get his PhD. Surprising, I know.
I thought he was working at the school. He didn't get a PhD.
Shoot, Matt Patchen. Where did he finish? Did he finish his career at Florida? Oh, his younger brother. His younger brother went to
your brother transferred
Miami, and then somewhere else after Miami too.
Patchen, like I thought he was a professor.
Jack Pyburn,
adjunct professor.
All right, we're getting towards the end of the show here.
I like these vibes. We need to do this.
We need to do this more often. Let's see. recruiting.
I'm
Looking-
lying. I'm pulling up next week. That's another reason I'm pulling up next week because I think we got some things popping in the recruiting world, man. I want to be able to, do my thing. But Billy got this thing cracking. Everybody can say what they want to say, but these guys can recruit, man.
Mhm.
And it seems like they're getting better. The vibes, everything seems better. Right before commitments last year, every time somebody was about to commit, you had Miami rushing in with these crazy NIL deals, and we was losing out on some guys. Not getting any of those vibes this year. I don't know if because the coach is more involved in the NIL situation now or what it is, but it's just seeming more just crisp. It seemed like a lot less shenanigans this year, man. So
I have an idea, Silk.
Big time.
No.
Your 64 brown coins, man. Look at that.
Just
is that Ethereum or is that USD?
No, that's just MS. Oh yeah.
Peso.
It would be. Hey, I'll take 0.64 Ethereum, but 64 actual cents. No, thank you.
Hunter Crane's got a question for you, Nick. How bad were McMillan and Collier if Nape let them go?
I think McMillan was asked to play linebacker, which I don't think made sense for him. You're already used a red shirt. You would have to put on a considerable amount of weight. So essentially waste another year while you learn a new position and get weight. Right. So he made a bet. He made that. I think that was an amicable split. Hey, we want you at this position. Well, I want to play that position. Okay. Well, you go somewhere where you can. And
I'll see you at practice, coach.
Yeah. And Collier, I mean, I thought he was going to be a really, really good player. He still could be at Nebraska. Just really did not put on the size that he would need to play safety in the SEC. Just didn't. So I don't think that they were bad. I think Don McMillan right now would be potentially one of your starting safeties if he was still here.
I do want to clear something up, and I want you guys to help me clear it up. We've been criticized by some people that have commented on our videos about fat shaming Desmond Watson. In fact, Nick, your comment about his grandmother feeding him well was something that didn't resonate well with one of our listeners. So I would like you guys to apologize for fat shaming Desmond Watson.
Listen,
for just this one listener.
I apologize to that listener. I also have said,
who is it? Conor McGregor. He's like, I'd like to apologize to absolutely nobody.
No one. The double champ does what he wants.
Hey man, I say he moved like a nimble bear. I complimented this guy for moving well at his size. Yeah. And Nick also said that it may be deeper than just eating, and it may be something that he just got to figure out outside of just putting a plate in front of him, man. And yeah, we're all conscious of all that, man.
But we are not fat shaming Desmond Watson. We never would. We have been more than complimentary, and we are excited to see Big Des plug some holes on the football field this season.
And that's like everybody saying these type of situations. I got fat friends.
Oh my goodness!
All right, so here, not on brand for me. A really positive take here.
Oh wow! Hold on. All right.
Yeah, put them on the big screen, baby.
So first off, I think Florida will have more than one commit next week from the spring game. Yeah. And I think whatever Billy Napier,
big dog.
I think whatever Billy Napier and Ryan O'Hara are selling to quarterbacks.
Dog said, "Talk that shit, Nick."
She's surprised too.
Yeah.
I think whatever they're selling quarterbacks is working. You had an elite quarterback in Jaden Rashad last class. Doesn't work out, but you got an elite quarterback to sign with you. DJ Lagway, an elite quarterback, sign with you earlier than Florida's had a quarterback sign in a long time. So now you've got DJ recruiting probably harder than the damn coaching staff. You get Austin Simmons, whether he reclassifies or doesn't, you got 3 years in a row. You've gotten an elite quarterback and 2 out of the 3 to sign early. These are position. This is the position where you start building classes around. So as much as I say like 6 to 8 wins this year, like give Billy some time because I think they're figuring out this recruiting thing, especially at the most important position on the field. And I think this time next week or this time tomorrow, next week. Florida will be getting some good news, during the spring game, after the spring game.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that are going to commit.
Whew, I'm exhausted. Being positive is tough, man.
It is.
Feels good to me, man.
Preston Fuller. Do we keep D linemen like Thompson? I know that I've put on a little bit of weight over the years. I'm working on it. But I think he might mean somebody else. So, Preston, if you could let us know who you mean. And Humphreys for depth, or do you push them out for another QB, wide receiver, or safety?
Yeah, I don't know who Thompson is.
It's Dan. You're trying to put Dan as a one tech.
Let's see.
Dan's a one.
I mean, outside of the freshmen,
he's about the size of a Miami defensive tackle.
There's Watson. Watson's maybe the only name. I mean, because on defensive line, you have Cam Jackson just transferred. Jamari Lyons, redshirt freshman. Nick, I'm not sure if you've heard much out of him. Tyreek Sapp, I know there's a lot of excitement about. Caleb Banks just transferred. Jaleb Humphreys, obviously the guy that he mentioned. Desmond Watson, who we've been talking about. Will Norman, who's
Chris
a freshman.
Thomas is gone.
And Chris Thomas. He meant Chris Thomas. Yeah. Chris Thomas is gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I think Jamari Lyons, we talked to Sean Spencer a little bit about him, was kind of complimentary about him. I think he's still a player. That development, he's behind some guys. I don't know if he's transfer watch or not. Harrison maybe does. If you want to yo-yo him back in.
Harrison.
Who's on transfer watch?
No. Are you half listening in the green room?
Yeah.
I said I haven't heard a ton about Jamari Lyons. I would not put him on transfer watch though.
No.
Cool. Thanks, Harrison.
No.
I mean, do you have more? You just gotta stop talking. Yeah, I see you.
That's hilarious, man.
Who have we not talked to? Gator.
Dan working the chat and just bringing them in and out.
Yeah. Jeremy Crawshaw, junior year.
Yes, let's ride.
Nick's
Aussie.
Hey, Nick. All right, over under more punts this year or last year?
It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart last year. Heart last year. What was the number? Let me look this up real quick.
Not great.
Fill some air.
Not great.
Well, it's just the attitude, and we talked about it last year. Me
and probably
joking,
endurance too, right?
Me joking about it. They on third down, on 3rd and 8, they're just trying to get 3 yards to make a 4th and 5 manageable.
Right.
So 35 punts. That's discouraging. Less than 3 a game.
That's the way I like it. I don't like to see the kicker boys out there a lot. I don't think Billy liked the kicker boys a lot. A rule of mine.
Big 4th down guy.
And my high school coach used to always tell me, we're not going to put the game in a soccer player's hands, man.
Why not?
You shouldn't.
Why not?
They barely like to score in soccer. You want to put the game in his hand in football? No, we're not doing that, man. We got to go get 7. Got to go get 7.
The punters are people too. Movement has a ways to go, I see.
Nick, did we have Miami plants working in our NIL department? No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. Smash
we did. We definitely did. Not anymore.
Not
Shout
anymore.
out to my man Fragrance Journey, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Benedict. Back to old Benedict Arnold Hippolyte.
Look at that. Nailed it.
Smash that like button. Shout out to Fragrance Journey. Go listen to his podcast if you like cologne. He's on YouTube there. Go shoot him a follow. But after you like and subscribe this.
Yeah.
Let's see, Nick. We haven't talked about. I'm just going through the roster here and haven't talked about Xavier Henderson much. He's going to start. We haven't talked about Caleb Douglas. Starter.
Yeah, I think Caleb Douglas. From what I've seen and people I've talked to, maybe a slight case of the drops. Can't have that at that position.
Had that Florida State game. Gotta clean that up, baby. I ain't like that Florida State game, man. I'm still having nightmares about that, man.
When your position is named receiver, you should be able to receive the ball reliably.
Good job, bro.
That's it. So got to clean that up. I love his potential. Obviously, a kid that played quarterback in high school, still learning the position, crazy athletic. But I think he's also kind of similar to Xavier Henderson. That's the last coaching staff got a bunch of the same guy. I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I think he's faster than Xavier. Like
But it's
Xavier
that
Henderson
long
was
football speed?
stride, doesn't get off blocks at the line. Like if you
He's
can get him
more-
off, if someone presses him, I don't know that he gets off of that and gets back under his route.
Right, I think he's more twitched up and have more football speed than Xavier. Xavier Henderson's more of a 400 strider type speed than I would say like a 40-yard runner. I like Caleb Douglas. It looked like he has some separation in a lot of stuff that he was doing, man, on some deep routes. So we'll see. I've been hearing good things about him, to be honest with you. I think he called a couple deep passes this week as well in practice, man. So
Nick, what about Marcus Burke?
You were out at practice? Were you out there?
He's
I got people out there, man.
Yeah, and he doesn't need
Were
to
you
tell you
out
who
there?
they are.
You gotta know who I am, bro. I'm Silk, bro. So I ain't gotta be out there, but I hear, some people tell me what Scarface say. I hear things. People tell me things.
Yeah, that old boss he used to tell me that he had little birdies fly in his ear whenever he heard, or fly into his office whenever he heard some things.
He
What about Marcus?
also said, "Go Pelican."
Cool. It was a flamingo.
Jeez.
It was a flamingo.
It was a flamingo. He says, "Go Pelican."
Marcus Burke. I haven't talked to you about him. Jacksonville.
Yeah,
guy.
I think so. Marcus Burke was in the doghouse last year. Was going to get kicked off the team. Anthony Gervon and a couple of guys went to Billy. Was like, "Hey, we need him on. Give him another chance." I think you saw him have to work and earn that trust back. I think he's a guy who's super talented and probably competing with like Khalil Jackson, Caleb Douglas. 4 reps there. I think Xavier Henderson. I think Florida might rotate receivers a lot this year because you have a bunch of guys. I don't think anyone really stands out way more than the other than Ricky Pearsall. Like there's Ricky Pearsall and then everyone else.
Let me tell you how it's gonna play out
together.
Let me tell you how it's gonna play out there. This is how
I'm ready for you to talk to me.
Until the freshmen kind of figure out this playbook and learn the nuances of being a college football player, you got to keep the guys that are acclimated to how this work. So you're gonna keep those guys in the rotation, keep them active, of course, because you're not giving them a spot. They know the offense. They know how to spring practice work. They know how fall camp works. When this gets going, and they just need playmakers that make plays, they're gonna have to play these young boys. We've seen the old work. So they're going to get in a situation where they're going to need playmakers just to make plays. And I think some of these guys are already making plays. Some guys are going to make plays in fall camp. But when they just need plays to be made, they're going to be like, yo, I know he don't understand everything, the blocking scheme. Tell him what he run in the huddle and get him the ball. And it's going to be a lot of that. And I think these young boys are going to pass some of these veteran guys that just are better practice players right now because they've been here longer.
I think there's a lot of spots where Florida's not bad, but their younger talent is better than their older players. And at this point, like you were just saying, so to your point, at this point, those guys aren't up to speed with the playbook, with what the expectations are, how you practice, how you take care of yourself, how you sleep at night so you can recover after a hard practice or a hard workout. There's so many little things you have to do.
Can't go to Midtown, bro. You can't.
Listen, you can be a Midtown legend.
Midtown's about to be gone. Yeah, Midtown's about to be gone. We might win another national championship.
No, I think Florida needs to win a national championship before Balls is gone, Dan.
Well, I don't think you win one in the offseason unless you're Miami. There's a good question here from Chase, our resident slot and slant runner here. I don't see Jeremiah Smith being a legit option with Brian Hartline, still wide receivers coach at Ohio State. That's a fair take. So who would you guys say are the 3 most legitimate options at wide receiver for this class to pair with Lagway?
You got to bring Harrison back in for this.
I know we have a huge board right now. The board's
crazy at receiver.
So what I'm going to do here before we bring Harrison in is I'm just going to pull up all of the known offers that the Gators have at wide receiver. We'll scroll through here. Harrison will add you. Ace will add you since you guys are hanging out.
Everybody.
All right.
Like everybody.
Nick's got to go. Is going to run for a second. So we got everybody here. Don't think that Florida really leads for any of them. I know Mario Carver is an athlete. But right now, Florida's got
I don't think he's a take right now, but I love his speed. And I love the way he plays football, slot receiver on the smallest side. But I'm a fan of Carver's.
James Randall.
Nitron Tuggle was one of them that I'm a big fan of, and he announced today. I think he told Alderman he's enrolling at IMG Academy in June.
Oh yeah,
Was here on a visit on Tuesday and is starting at IMG in June. So would be obviously I think that's good that he's going to be close to Florida. I think he's going to be on campus a few other times this summer, and I know that's someone DJ Lagway really wants to be in this class with him.
I think our pool, and I'm not gonna rule. I like your take on Jeremiah Smith to keep it a bean. I don't think Heartline stays at the same spot he's in another year. I think something's gonna give there. Either he gets promoted or something outrageous. I don't know what happens at the head coach spot, but eventually they're gonna have to shake some of Heartline. People are gonna come a calling with a higher job. But players want to play with Jeremiah Smith, man.
DJ Lagway.
Players want to play with
Well
DJ
done.
Lagway. Yeah. Both ways. It goes both ways.
It does.
I think Ohio State's about to land a quarterback this weekend as well with Aaron Nolan. But Jeremiah Smith, if we get him, that'd be a great plus. But I love the wide receiver board. A lot of speed, a lot of size, a lot of versatility, but guys that can separate, man. It's all around the country. You got guys from Indiana all the way to California, down to Florida, Georgia.
Texas. Nycar just visited a couple days ago.
Chance Robinson was here, proud on A, since Nick's not here. I think that's one they're really in a good spot with. I think he's going to come down to – he's going to be a Florida-Miami battle, in my opinion. I think that's someone Florida can get.
He was on campus for a spring practice too. I read.
Yeah, he was weeks ago with his mom, I think. So there's a bunch of other guys from South Florida. Malachi Toney for 2026. Jeremiah was here recently. Everyone knows that. And a few other kids from South Florida were on campus as well.
I think Zacarl Lewis was just on campus not too long ago from Carrollwood Day.
He was on campus. Isaiah Williams is someone they really like. I know. I'm just reading his. Terrence Moore is someone I'm a big fan of. I don't really know where he is on the board. I mean, people are going to see 6'3", 6'4", 190 and think, oh, that's a Billy G offer. But he does have some big offers from, I think he has Bama. I don't know if that's a committable offer or not, but he's got Bama, Auburn, FSU, UCF, and some other SEC schools as well.
He just dropped like a top 12 or something crazy like that.
And with Mario Craver, I don't know how you turn him down with that kind of speed. Like I need that speed on the football field.
Everybody on the board got speed. Ace.
Everyone on the board got speed. I mean, everybody on Mario.
This is not.
They like Mario. They like Isaiah Williams. They like the Hawkins kid from IMG. That's a new name I heard today. I like him too, and I honestly want to talk about this. I don't think that. I don't think it's clear as day that the days of you have to be 6'2", 6'3". to play wide receiver for Billy Gonzalez seems to be over. I mean, I know that's a Billy and David Doker, I think is how you say his name. I think
Decker.
Obviously, Decker. So I think it's a combination of all three minds building one wide receiver room. So you're going to have the speed guys, you're going to have the do-it-all guys, but the one type of wide receiver that Florida had on its roster last year, aside from Slick Rick, those days are over.
Okay, TJ Moore's dropped the top 13.
Wow.
What a wild number to come up to. Florida, Auburn, Clemson, Colorado, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, Penn State, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and USC was in the top 13.
Damn, he's got a Clemson offer?
No, it's just in his top 13.
Well, if Clemson offers you, they take you. So that's a good sign.
Let's see. There's a kid named Gatlin Bear. It sounds like a great name for a
wide receiver.
Him.
Jig got speed, man.
Burley, Idaho.
Like a 10-1.
Yeah, he just won the I don't know if it was a state championship or whatever it was, but I watched a video of him. I was like, who? What?
Where's he from
again?
Great
name.
He's from Burley, Idaho.
Idaho, same thing.
Yeah.
Iowa, Idaho.
Yeah,
it's not the same thing, Nick.
Sure.
It's not.
You'll be going to one of them in August.
They call them the Midwest because it's mid, Dan.
Ooh, I can get
Well, I
Bars.
don't think Idaho's in the Midwest, but
It's a
who am I to
flyover
question
state.
you?
It's a
Who am
flyover
I to
state 'cause
question?
you don't
Who
want to
am I to
land
question
there.
Who am I to question your knowledge of geography?
Thank you.
Nick's
Know
pulling
your
up the
place.
map. Like, is it not?
It's a flyover state, which means you don't want to land there. You just want the plane to keep moving.
So this is Burley, Idaho. There's a red.
There's places west of that.
There's a red pin that indicates exactly where it is.
God.
Bro, I did
so
not need a fact check. I did
This
not
is
need a
Burley.
fact check.
This
need
is
more on
Burley,
the show.
That's
Idaho.
west. That's not Midwest.
And
That's
we have to
west.
scroll all the way over here to find
Okay.
Iowa.
No, you could just hit the minus button and zoom out, and then who knows? That is Midwest of Japan. on that particular map.
Not even, man.
Midwest of Hawaii.
Maybe Canada.
Yeah. See you later, Harrison. See you later.
That's ruthless.
All right, let's see. Hartline just got promoted offensive coordinator. I didn't see that, but that's congratulations to him. 2 words,
call
Kit
plays,
Kat.
Is that a Don Kaiser, Don 3 call out there?
I think it is. Don's not on this show, but shout out to Kit Kat. Billy's looking for kids with wiggle. Like
Need
it.
that wiggle. Need a little wiggle in your route running and in your arsenal. I love the wide receiver board. I think we're gonna keep it. I like the speed. Track guys, verified speed. And then, like you said, you need some wiggle. You just can't be a robot running straight lines out there.
I've heard Frazier's may be on the way out.
I heard similar.
And then going back to the comment about just going out there and getting your freshmen, your skill players just out the ball, like they did with Harvard in 2006, that counter in the SEC championship game.
Precisely.
They're using Ricky, Marcus Burke a little bit, and Andy Jean in that kind of. It's still a receiver, but like motion in the backfield and kind of moving them around. They're using those 3 guys kind of in that role.
Mm-hmm. And then like yelling at DeMarcus Robinson from the sideline what to run. Man, I told so many lies about DeMarcus Robinson. Shout out to him. Good NFL
Honey
Thunder.
Thunder.
But when he came to UF, he came in the wintertime, spring, was going to go to Clemson, got the old switcheroo the day before or the day of, and he's like, oh, he's on campus. That was a great day. Great day.
I told more lies, and I was more of a liar about Tyree Cleveland. Man,
the heave to Cleve, though. It's a moment that will live in infamy.
It is a moment.
Not infamy, a moment that'll live in fummy.
I had Vari in my DM, not my DM, my mentions, just talking greasy about Jacksonville players, but
yeah. What else is new? You do put up that photo of the one building in Jacksonville,
bro. Whoever put the one building,
man. It's so disrespectful.
Multiple buildings. It's the only one still standing. Dill is here. Shout out to Dill. What's up, Dill?
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Man, I gotta say, Nick. Greensboro College or Guilford College?
Greensboro.
That's right. I remember.
We had to play at Guilford High School though. I wasn't there long.
I remember the GC at the end for a little while, and I thought it was Greensboro College, but I think it was probably Gator Country. And then I was
it was Gator Country.
Yeah. For sure.
I was dumb. I was on Twitter early enough to get my actual name at Nick Delatorre. And then when I got hired at Gator Country, that's when everyone was like, you put whoever you worked for at the end.
Yeah.
And then during my time at Gator Country, somebody jacked at Delatorre and at Nick Delatorre. And I was like, moving to rivals. And I was like, I got to change this. Shout out to the plug at Twitter. Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to the plug. He helped me out too.
That's big time.
Hey, y'all got plugs at Twitter?
Yeah.
Nah, not anymore.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Right, yeah.
All right, I can't talk greasy then. I've been talking greasy lately.
It's at Elon. Say I want at Silk.
They freed me up, but I'm a little bit more cautious how I tweet at people because they got me blocked for a little minute there.
Yeah, I think it's like the player haters ball for you sometimes. So, but at the same time,
man.
at the same time, that's iconic. So.
right?
I can't disagree with what you're doing. It's fun. It's fun to keep up with. It's always been fun to keep up with.
No.
Already. How you feel about the quarterback position, DYL?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I believe more in Billy than I do in than I guess the quarterback. So if Billy's telling me that, Graham Mertz and Jack Miller are the guys that are going to be battling, whoever he chooses is going to be whoever fits his scheme, and that's fine with me. I think it's more of a thing where before, we always looked at, oh well, who's AR sitting behind Emery? Why isn't AR playing? And then when Billy comes in, everything changes to the point where I feel like there's a lot more trust in the coaching staff and what they're doing. So, if it's Mertz, great. If it's Miller, great. If it's Max Brown, great. But I'm looking forward to seeing, how things progress this year, and then obviously you want to look ahead, even further whenever recruits start coming in and seeing what they have for them. I believe in not going after the number one guy or paying for the best players, but getting the guys in that fit your scheme, and Billy's got it figured out, I think, and I think we're going to have a fun couple years moving forward.
Staying on my positive note, because I have turned over a new leaf. I think, I get it from like a fan perspective. I don't want to be patient. I want to win right now. But like Kirby Smart didn't have Georgia cooking in year 1, year 2. They dominated recruiting for a little bit to build this roster. I think Billy needs time to build the roster. And and like Silk says, if you're a fan, like your job is just to cheer. You can be critical and you can criticize, but I mean, even me, I'm sitting here. I'm like, I don't know who's going to start at quarterback, but whoever Billy picks, like, hey, you're tying your job to that. So when people are like, hey, they're starting this because of this, it's like, listen, if he's starting someone because of politics, he might be politicking at a different school. Like you're tying your job security and your paycheck to a quarterback.
Well, and I think a lot of that too is, the difference between fans and people who understand what the process is are two totally different things. And, I was a Division III college baseball coach for 5-6 years. I wasn't an SEC football coach, that's for sure. But I do also know that, that there's this thing called development. And I'd rather see, a freshman develop than, expect, a kid, put a bunch of pressure on a kid at a place where, there is a lot of pressure anyway, to come out and start winning right away. And I think that's what's bad for the culture. So if you see, I'd see it all the time on Twitter, especially just because people like to hide behind it and pretend like we're going to be some 13-0 team or a 6-7 team. It's like, hey, why don't you just trust the process? I mean, congrats to Dan Mullen for inheriting what he did. Was he the best leader? Definitely not. But I think, with leadership comes culture and a little bit of patience, and we'll find our way back.
He can lead you directly to that Delta Lounge at Orlando International Airport and straight to Costa Rica.
No, I like to tell you because Dan Mullen was perfect for like that situation to come in. If you need somebody to maximize the players you got on campus, now, he ain't gonna bring a whole lot of new talent on, but if you want somebody to maximize and figure out how to pull the best potential out of your current roster and get some wins right now, but you're not looking 10 years, you're not looking 5 years on what the program gonna be. It's not gonna be what you want it to be once he gets his players on campus. But Dan Mullen was perfect for that. If you're looking for somebody to build a program and to build something that's sustainable with elite talent on campus, then you got to go this route. And of course, there's some inexperience there with Billy. He's young, but you can see the vision. And who else are you going to hire around college football with a young mind, vision, and all of that, bro? I think the hire is on point, and I think like where we're at as a program, just being realistic. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fanatic, bro. I want to win every game. I'm gonna lie to y'all every offseason. I look at the schedule. I'm not gonna find a L. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. before the games get played, before I get logical. But I'm logical about, like he said, he's been around college sports, so he understands what it is, the work it takes. If you saw how we ended Dan Mullen's year, it was a lot past football. The L's we started seeing, how we started losing, it was cultural stuff. We had some cultural problems. There have been cultural problems for a long time at UF. This is the real and the first re-gut we had since Urban Meyer, and that's just facts. We had patchwork that's been happening since Urban Meyer left. We know Urban left with cultural issues. This is the first real rebuild. And you just got to be patient with the guy and let him rebuild and do his things. We're not saying everything. We agree with every move. We're not saying that he's doing everything perfect. We're saying that, bro, like this thing was turned upside down. He got to turn it right side up. And it's going to take a little minute. It didn't get here overnight, and he's not going to fix it overnight.
Yeah, 70% of the players, I think, are less than 2 years in the program. Somewhere around that number, and that's a high number. You're gonna have a tough time winning with that roster unless you're recruiting just at unbelievable levels. And there's been improvements. Obviously this class is shaping up really nicely. There should be some more names added into that group here soon. But Florida, when they hired Will Muschamp, he was the hottest name in college sports, right? He was the head coach in waiting at Texas. From that point forward, you thought that you had the replacement. It doesn't work out. You give him an opportunity, couldn't figure out offense, hires multiple offense coordinators, can't figure it out. Jim McElwain.
Midline.
Yeah, in the midline. Jim McElwain didn't really, it made sense in some regard, and that he was, from the Saban tree, had some success there. Colorado State never really seemed like a cultural fit from the beginning, right? Dan Mullen comes in, you think that he's that guy, comes with Mississippi State experience, brought them to #1 in the country. It doesn't work out. I don't know if he's burnt out. Obviously, he didn't take a job, last season or this season. So maybe what you see in Billy Napier is the first time Florida's had to kind of completely gut everything, right? From the coaching staff to the analysts to really everything. And so was last year 0? How long will Florida give him? I don't know. Do I know if Billy Napier is going to be the coach at Florida in 3 years? No, I don't. Do I hope that we're seeing progress that keeps him here? Yeah, because I like what we're seeing as improvements, but this is probably the first time in a long time that there seems to be some gradual, overall organizational improvement.
And I think that's what people forget about too. I mean, you made a good point of, gutting coaching staff as well. I mean, 100, how many people on staff?
Probably around 100
more. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's like unheard of, right? So not only is it an adjustment with, the guy that's coming in to lead the program, but I mean, you're bringing in people from all over the place, and a lot of them, and that might be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people that are used to, seeing 60 coaches or 60 personnel, 60 support staff, and I mean, it's just something that people have to start to wrap their mind around, that the game is changing. Recruiting is changing. Everything's changing, and it's not a right now attitude. It didn't take. I mean, I hate to use this example, but how long did it take Kirby Smart to win 2 national championships and rebuild, something that he had? It wasn't perfect at UGA.
It wasn't even big of a rebuild with Rick left. Like Rick had stability there. Rick recruited well.
They're the only school in their state, right?
Right.
Yeah,
it was stable at Georgia. He just couldn't get over that. He couldn't win the big games, so they brought in somebody else.
Well, they knew that they could get Kirby Smart, right? I mean, that's the reason why it didn't work out with Rick. It was not because they were ready to move on and just do this open search. It was Kirby Smart, are you coming? Yes. Okay, cool. Pause. We're going to fire Mark Rick then, and now he's your head coach, right? He takes over something that's not broken. I mean, Georgia didn't have multiple 4-8 seasons, right? Over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, right? He didn't take over for a program that was below 500 with a roster that had probably at least 50% attrition needed. So
Kirby Smart went 32-10, but to your point, while you're walking into wildly different scenarios. One was almost post-apocalyptic. And the other one was, you're walking into a stable business that had been running fine, running, top 3 in the SEC for a while.
And people forget we didn't bring in Scott Satterfield. We didn't bring in Eli Drinkwitz. We brought in somebody who I mean, honest to God, and you guys probably know more than I do. Well, you definitely know more than I do. But that first time around when Dan Mullen was hired, from what I understand, Napier was like one of the top 2 guys on the list, but yet he wanted to finish out, what he started. And like, that just says a lot about, if that's true, that says a lot about what he, stands for. And I mean, that's the kind of guy that you want leading a program. It's not the guy that's like jumping ship looking for the next best thing. It's the guy that's, trying to finish out something that he's built. And he did a great job at Louisiana. And, it's a time thing. It's a time thing. The lack of patience is frustrating from some fan bases. But, for us, I think it's a matter of the fact that, we were there for a while and, we need to get back to the reality of college football and the landscape. It's just absolutely changed. It's time.
So here's a question for the 3 of you and anyone in chat. You can chime in. If Florida goes 6-6, 7-5, what does the recruiting class need to be to show? Okay, listen, we're still figuring things out on the field, processing guys, getting our culture built, laying the foundation, putting up the walls. But look, the recruiting is moving in the right direction, and with the caveat of you could be 5th in the country and 3rd in the SEC. So like you still need to beat out Georgia and Alabama and Texas A&M for some of these kids. But what's the the scales of justice? Like what evens it out? If it's a 7-5 season, where do you need the recruiting class to be?
I think Billy's super safe, man. I don't know what people.
He's not on the hot seat at all.
We're talking about like
he's not Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah,
Jimbo. If I'm Jimbo, I'm begging to be fired. As long as I'm not breaking my contract,
if I could get that $80 million buyout, woo! I'll even settle for 75.
Yeah, we were just talking about just stability, right? Just the lack of stability we had in such a long time. Like Steve Spurrier was here, he held it down, he built something. Urban Meyer comes in a few years and gets hot quick and wins. But after that, it's just been a roller coaster ride of just different coaches, totally different vibes, a lot of controversy too. It ain't just been like L's. It's been a lot of like controversy, man, with players, scams, and all type of stuff going on. I think the University of Florida more than anything needs stability, and I think Billy is a leader. You could talk about his play calling. You could talk about a lot of stuff that the characteristics and the qualities that he was speaking of, the jobs he turned down to stay at Louisiana. You need a guy like that of high integrity to just build a program, to instill things around the university, around the program. It's bigger than wins and losses. Yeah. Everybody's getting caught up on Saturdays right now, dog, because y'all never really played no real ball before. But if you've been around real ball, like a program got to be instilled. I watch programs fall apart. I'm from Belgrade. I watch Glade Central go from being one of the best storied programs in the country to a shell of itself, to like nothing right now. And it became a problem because new coaches, the neighborhood running every head coach away because they're not winning right away. And there was a new coach in every year, and it tore the program apart. It'll probably never be the same. Any program can become that. If you're changing coaches every year, it's not a brag to be a mad fan base that run coaches away. I think Billy's going to be safe from that standpoint just because we need stability, bro. And if he keep bringing in talent like DJ Lagway and these guys, they're going to be patient. They was impatient with Dan Mullen because he wasn't bringing no talent in. He won games. If winning the games mattered, and that was the end-all, be-all, Dan Mullen will still be here. But he wasn't bringing no talent in to get over that hump. You need talent to get over that hump.
Yeah.
That's
a great take. Yeah.
That was a sermon.
I'll give you the flip side of the coin. So I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So my Wake Forest was about all we had. And
Go Deeks.
Go Deeks.
I almost went to college there. I could have been hosting Winston and Salem.
Dude, that was
very. I learned my freshman year of college. Dip is very cheap up in the Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Raleigh.
That's where I'm at now. I'm in Raleigh right now.
Yeah.
But
Tobacco Road. Sorry, go
Tobacco
ahead.
Road. Shout out to, I know.
Makes sense.
Shout out
Shout
to the
out to
baseball
Tobacco.
team too. Shout out to Tobacco. Shout out to the baseball team too. My brother's on the baseball team right now, just grad transfer. So number 2 in the country. They're looking good. I'm hoping to have that heartbreak of watching Wake and Florida playing. Yeah,
a midweek loss to Elon.
Yeah. Oh, that was hey, give them the benefit of the doubt. 20 in the RPI. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They beat Kentucky, so go Phoenix. But I mean, like the difference between being a Florida fan and being a Wake Forest fan is the fact that Wake Forest, year in and year out, will settle for a bowl game. And it's when you sit there and you look and you're like, oh, wow, look at all the potential that this team could have in the ACC, especially when, Clemson was down just a tad. And
they got the second best coach in the ACC, in my opinion.
Dave Clawson's great. I'm surprised, honestly, he's still there. But, you sit there and you watch, as a Florida fan and a football fan, you sit there and you watch a team underachieve and they're like, oh no, this is great. 7-win season, that's awesome, man. We're going to a bowl game. And you're like, why wouldn't you want more? And it's hard sometimes as a Florida fan to be like, wow, an 8-win season, that's not good enough sometimes, but it's all about progression and it's all about what's happening with the culture right now. And we're on the brink of, especially with an expanded playoff, of, I think, doing something really, really fun for Florida fans and this fan base and the program and the school to kind of come back into that spotlight. And, there's been a lot of negativity and from everywhere. Like, I don't even know why Florida State fans and Miami fans, like they just have it out with the fact that, like, oh, we were once really good and now we're like kind of sliding. But when we get back into it, what are they going to say? Like, what's going to be their excuse for, why they were just down on Florida all the time? But it's University of Florida. Like, it's not Florida State, who's good once every 8 years. It's not Miami, who's, God, haven't done anything and I don't even know how long. It's the University of Florida, and there is an expectation, and I understand that, but from a fan perspective and from a realist perspective, it's be patient. It's coming. The message I'd have for our fans is just have some trust. If you're a Florida fan, if you're a fan of any college program and you don't trust that program, then what are you doing?
Yeah, that's
like,
good.
What's the point?
It's a good take. Nick, to answer your question, I know we're running, it's about 10:15 here, East Coast. To answer your question, I think that Florida fans want to see improvement, right? Obviously, they want to see a better record. Florida has a tough schedule this year. Again, going out to Utah, they do have 2, very easy cupcakes. You got a couple tough games in there. I think what Florida fans want to see, though, when you look at Billy Napier's, you want to see some improvement. You want to see, where did Florida falter last year, right? Defense was our Achilles heel throughout almost the entire season, right? You want to see improvement there. Hopefully Austin Armstrong brings a better defense. Florida is able to, with some more mature players on the defensive line. They've obviously got some holes to fill at linebacker, but hopefully some maturity there, some strong cornerback play. If you see some improvement on defense, I think that that's a win. I think if you see competent quarterback play, Billy Napier's quarterback coach, right? David Decker, your quarterback coach, or no, who am I thinking of? Ryan O'Hara, quarterback coach, right? You bring in Mertz, you have Jack Miller, he's a transfer, 2 guys that you picked. Max Brown, you got late in the process, but you still got him. Now you have 3 quarterbacks. Now, if they go out and try to get a 4th, you want to, whoever is playing quarterback, you want to see at least some consistency of play there. Florida's going to run the ball. We talked about it on Monday's show. It's going to be run the damn ball season. But what I think that Florida fans are going to want to see, the players that you recruited in your first class and your second class, what are you getting out of them? What kind of maturity are you getting? What kind of playmaking ability do they have? What do you see out of them in year 1? And then from a recruiting perspective, keeping DJ Lagway is going to be super important. Obviously, all in on the Gators right now, still hasn't signed on the dotted line. So you want to see that. You want to see who else he brings in, and then you want to see a good, strong class. I don't think that Florida needs to be the top of the SEC, but I don't think that they can be in the 15s, in the 13s. I think you need to see Florida. Maybe they don't beat Georgia. Maybe they don't beat Alabama in recruiting, but they should beat Texas A&M. They should beat LSU, right? That's what you need, right? Other schools have been able to get over tougher records and still bring good recruiting classes. Now, Florida's a little bit different. You have nationwide recruiting here. You have Florida State, you have Miami. You have some different competition than other schools. Or other schools. But what you want to see is you want to see some improvement, right? Florida has this huge structure. They're spending a ton of money on football now. You want to see that improvement of, hey, the guys that he's bringing in, the guys that he's developing, and the changes that he's making from what you've seen in year 1 and year 2 is what I think will get off of, his back a little bit. If it's the same thing going into the 2024 season, then it's going to be tough. But if you see that market improvement and you see his guys making an impact, then I think Florida fans will understand. But Florida cannot afford to fire another head coach in football and start the shit all over again.
Nah, it's just not gonna happen. No, this is my last one. I don't want to go any more preaching the rants or anything. But every coach that every coach that ever has done anything, they have been attached to a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy's cooking, like you watch Jimbo Fisher made his career off of Jameis Winston, and the rest of it's been he's brought in a lot of quarterbacks, and they all been top tier in the recruiting rankings. But that's how the way Billy's recruiting is the recipe to hit. All he got to do is hit on one of these quarterbacks, and the rest is going to be history, man. And he's in the right path for that.
I love that. All right, gentlemen, it is 10:19. We've been on for 2 hours and 2 hours and 5 minutes. This was a hell of a show.
Felt like 5 minutes, man. We got to leave already.
We got to do this again here soon. Is it DYL or is it Dill?
It's Dill. It's for Dylan. And honest to God, like I really do appreciate you guys. It was kind of a surprise to just grab an invite right there in the DMs from Silk. That was awesome.
Appreciate you.
And I do appreciate you guys having me on. And again, the message, I think if I had one thing to say to anybody is, understand where we are in college sports, be patient. I really like the attachment to a quarterback, and I'll be honest, the underlying thing that I love so much is that Billy G hire, and I can't wait to see what the receivers are looking like and with the quarterback play that I think we all would love to see, match that up, and it's going to be fun again. And, quietly again, that offensive line, I love that offensive line, and I'd love to see, a Trask type year out of somebody in the next little bit.
Mania.
Hey, why not, dude? That's in my eyes, it's QB1. And I think he's in the right place. He's got the right leadership. He's got the right people around him. And this fan base needs to rally behind a kid like that and show him like, hey, he is capable. And there's a possibility for him to be really good here. Absolutely. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on, Dylan. Hold it down for us in Raleigh. Before we leave, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend about your favorite podcaster's favorite Florida Gators podcast. Right here. Easy. And we'll see you guys at the same corner, different time, the usual time on Monday. I knew to hit him up. I know the good people hit up. If I hit you up in your DMs, you should have came through because you'd have got good takes off like Dill, man. I appreciate you coming through, Dill. Hey, shout out to Velo not coming back on. We would have had some. I'm not gonna blow Velo's spot. I know he's still listening though. Hey, I'm not gonna blow your spot, but next time we have a call-in show, you're on. You owe us one. Right. You owe us one. All right, boys. We will see you guys on Monday. We record on Monday mornings. If you want to join, if it's your first time listening, we appreciate it. Have a little bit more structure to that show. This is our first call-in show in probably 3.5 years. I think this went really well. We're going to do it again, but thanks everybody for tuning in. And again, like, subscribe, go buy some shit at our shop, stadiumandgale.com/shop. Hang out with the Nilk boys next Thursday. Nilk boys doing it big. We out here, man. We will see you guys live, man, at the same corner and same time. And because it's everybody's favorite exit music, let's ride, baby.